how can I prevent tearing? This is a huge question and probably number one question that I get asked the most from clients and from people who are not even clients that I talk to about birth. And of course, we all understand nobody wants to tear. Tearing can be just another thing to worry about in postpartum care, and also just the management of it, and also just the discomfort. So, how can we prevent it? And there are 4 key things that we can do to prevent tearing. And I have birthed all 3 of my children without any pain medication. And I was also able to not tear with any of them with these 4 things. The first thing is baby's positioning. Baby's positioning matters for an easy birth and an easy transition more than almost anything else for a smooth birth. And in another video, I talk about baby's positioning and how the best movements for mom at the end of pregnancy or all throughout pregnancy to be able to get baby in the most optimal positioning for birth. This is very important for baby, and this is also very important for mom, and also to prevent tearing. The second most important thing to prevent tearing is throughout pregnancy, exercising for birth, and not just exercising how we normally exercise, but exercising with intention, with birth in mind, and doing workouts and movements and stretches that encourages baby's positioning and encourages the correct muscles and the correct relaxation of muscles in birth. For example, you do not want your pelvic floor tight in birth. In pregnancy, leading to birth, what we should actually be practicing is the relaxation of our pelvic floor so that in birth it can actually get out of the way and our bodies can do what they are made to do to get the baby out without causing any pelvic floor injuries or tearing. A lot of the times, if we're too bound up, our pelvic floor is too tight, that can actually cause tearing and pelvic floor issues and even prolapse. I teach that in another video. It's no Kegels in pregnancy, and we're actually teaching how to elongate the pelvic floor. The other issue with that goes alongside the pelvic floor being elongating instead of being pulled up, it's also a breathing technique as well. So improper breathing in birth can also cause tearing. Improper breathing, so your cervix is actually a sphincter, and actually opening as well when baby is coming out. The way that you breathe matters. The way that you breathe baby down and the way that you breathe baby out really does matter. And I go over that in another video with breathing techniques. But basically, your cervix is a sphincter, and just like if you try to go to the bathroom, a lot of the times if you have improper breathing or if you're screaming at a high pitch, your vocals, just like anything that makes your vocals go up and causes your sphincter to close up. So everything is bringing it low and down to help open and release the sphincter, and also to be able to open to let baby out as well. So breathing technique is really important, especially in crowning. The next biggest thing to prevent tearing is pushing, or improper use of pushing or coached pushing. Your body naturally pushes the baby out. You do not have to force your baby out. It is called FER. It is fetal ejection reflex. And there are medical emergencies where you might have to push your baby out, or you might have to put a little bit more force behind it. And also with epidurals, a lot of the times, if there's a little bit, it depends on how much epidural you have, but sometimes you're still able to not have to do coach pushing even with epidurals. You can still achieve that. But most of the time with epidurals, there's a lot of coach pushing, and a lot of the times we see that is a big reason for tearing. in coach pushing or purple pushing, which is holding your breath while pushing. So this all goes back to if we're able to breathe correctly, if we're able to get our pelvic floor out of the way, and if we're able to elongate when baby is coming down, we can't feel any of that when that's happening if we have an epidural. So a lot of times we are pushing when we maybe shouldn't be, or pushing not with the contraction. So a lot of the times the goal is not to push. The goal is to bear down into the contraction and what the uterus is already doing. So FIR is where each contraction is a buildup of the uterus, and then it on its own will completely eject the baby out for you. That's why sometimes you'll actually see babies kind of fly out. Sometimes really fast births can cause a bit more tearing. So that's also why proper breathing technique when baby is coming down, and being able to go a little, slow it down a little bit and slow down with your breathing. So that way when you can have a bit more stretch to it. Those are the 4 top main things. However, I also will add in there, I'm a big advocate for water. Water births are amazing, and just water in general will also help prevent tearing. It's not as important as these other things that I mentioned. However, water will help even if you're not immersed in a tub or water. A lot of the times what I'll do for clients who aren't having a water birth, I will still do a warm wet rag to also help prevent tearing. And you can also use a little bit of oil as well. I love coconut oil. So those are 2 other things that are also very helpful, useful tools. Water births are amazing to help prevent tearing. Again, if you're not submerged in the water, just doing a wet, warm rag prior, even early in labor, and doing a little bit of oil is also great. But the main 4 things are what I had mentioned: our baby's positioning, your breathing, and being able to elongate and relax the pelvic floor, and if at all possible, not having coached or forced pushing, of course, unless it's a medical emergency, or if you are having an epidural and you really need the coach pushing because you can't truly feel anything. A lot of the times, even with an epidural, you can at least feel the pressure. So I hope that these tips help you. I know that they helped me in my 3 births. If you have any questions, my Instagram is linked below. Please feel free to reach out. I love my mama community, and I would love for you to join, and we'll see you next time.